What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here, and we've got some big Madden 22 news today. We've got more info on the new scouting system that's coming to franchise mode. We got more of a reveal, we've got more screenshots, we've got more information, and we can get a real in-depth look about the entire feature before it comes to the game. Now, if you are new to the channel and you never want to miss out on any of these important updates or news for Madden, make sure to subscribe, turn the bell icon on so you don't miss any of these videos when they go live. Now, we do have a little bit of bad news before we get into the full scouting reveal and breakdown. Something happened that a lot of people expected to happen, and that is that the scouting overall has been pushed back slightly. In the blog post on their website, that's how they started it out. They said, "It's important to our team that we deliver what you request at quality. We are taking the time to ensure scouting is polished with some additional testing, and scouting will be available to all players as part of a title update coming in mid-October." Now, there's two ways you can look at this, and I think you should look at it both ways, in fact. They said it was coming in September. While they didn't promise it, they said we're aiming for September. They said it multiple times, even before the game came out. A lot of people purchased this game with the idea that this was coming in September because they seemed pretty confident about it when they were selling it. Now it's coming mid-October, so you have a lot of people that have been waiting to start their franchises because you're going to have to restart your franchise when the scouting overhaul is implemented. So people have been waiting. Now they're on the hook a little bit longer. You might have lost a lot of those people for this year. And they're going to be mad because most people were expecting it to be in the game right now, and it looks like we're going to get it about a month from right now. Now, the other way you can look at this, and I think you should look at it also this way, is that a lot of things have launched broken with this game and the game previously and the game before that. Madden 22's already had a lot of issues, even with some new features, so if waiting a little bit more, doing more testing makes it launch in a better state, that's obviously a good thing, but I still think that's not even a guarantee with all of the issues the game has had. So even though it is coming a little bit later, that doesn't guarantee that it's going to be of the utmost quality. That's what they're probably hoping, and that's what we're hoping, but it doesn't always play out that way. So that is a little bit of the bad news, but let's actually get into everything you need to know because they did drop a lot of good information. I do think when this does launch, if there's no serious issues, it is going to be a big deal for franchise mode. Here's a slight overview. You have a full scouting department. You have in-depth scouting reports, including player physicals, traits, and ratings. You have news content that will move players up or down the media big board, impacting draft stock. You have mock drafts providing a snapshot of who teams are interested in throughout the season, which is really a big deal because that's going to let you know who some of your opponents are going after, who your competition is going after, and that might make you have to reach a little bit earlier for a player that you want. We see that happen all the time in real life. We see reports of this team or this coach is interested in this guy, and then that lets you as the other coach know, hey, I might actually have to move up just because I can't take any chances if I really feel like this is my guy. It says here the scouting experience will begin during week 1 of the NFL season, where you'll be introduced to the current draft class for the first time. Viewing the national region of the region breakdown map surfaces the identity of the current draft class. Being able to see the overall positional strengths and weaknesses of the draft class as well as on a per region basis allows you to plan your approach. You'll be able to hire, fire, or reassign your scouts to make sure their strengths align with the region they are scouting. For example, if one of the strengths of the Southeast region is cornerbacks, make sure you assign the scout that has the expertise in scouting cornerbacks to reap the most benefits. You're in charge of optimizing your 5 scouts to help you find draft gems. Here are the key dates you need to know from week 1 of the regular season and beyond. During week 1, this is the final time to reassign, hire, and fire scouts. During week 2, you assign region scouts to individual positions. During week 8, you can assign national scouts to individual positions. During week 11, you can choose 3 players to focus on where you'll unlock 30% of a player's profile. And then during the free agency stage 3, you can choose 3 players to host for private workouts where you'll unlock 40% of a player's profile. So during week 11 and this free agency stage, this is where you can kind of take 3 players and kind of boost what you know about them, where you can find out a big chunk about them at one time, whereas everybody else, it's going to be more of a slow grind throughout the season. So these should be probably your 6 most important prospects that you're looking into that you should be attacking during these weeks. Now, each prospect has a key percentage that unlocks along the way. At 1%, you get baseline physical information for prospects, which probably means stuff like speed, acceleration, strength, maybe stuff like that, height, weight, and things of that nature. At 10%, You get player notes including their traits and their throw style. So you have traits in the game. For example, wide receivers could have a trait where they make sideline catches very well, or they make aggressive catches well. These are things you will find out once you get to 10% of the player. Now, at every 10% along the way, you get one attribute revealed in the skill tab as a letter grade. Now, you can get up to 10 of these grades because every 10% you get a new attribute. With the old system, you only got 3 of these unlocked for each player, and it really didn't tell you enough about the player. Now you can get up to 10, and it's going to tell you a lot more that you need to know about these prospects. At 70%, the player archetype is revealed, which is another big thing because this plays into how they're going to level up in franchise. It plays into potential ratings, it plays into abilities and X factors, which is a big deal as well. At 100%, of course, all player attributes and true talent range are revealed. Now we're just going to look through all the screenshots, kind of break them down. So the first one here is the region breakdown. You can see that this looks like to be your national scout here, and you can see his strengths and weaknesses at the bottom. So he's good with cornerbacks, defensive tackles, and quarterbacks. So if you really need a quarterback this year, you want to make sure your national scout definitely has a strength in quarterbacks. You can see what his weaknesses are. You can also see who the top prospects are and where they're projected to go. Here's another shot of the region breakdown, but this is with your regional scouts and not your national scouts. So you can see that we have the Southeast region here. Again, you can see the strengths and the weaknesses at the bottom for this scout, and you can also see the top prospects. I'm assuming this is the top prospects for this region and not national. As you can see, they changed from the last screenshot to this screenshot. So these are the top prospects in the Southeast region. Here you can see a screenshot of the mock draft, who they're projecting the teams to take. I guess the Lions have the first 2 picks in the draft, which would be pretty crazy. That's just not something you normally see. You can see the projection of the players, and you can see their completion percentage in terms of scouting. You can see 10%, 10%, 14%, 10%, 10%. So as the season goes on, these percentages are going to be higher. Now here you can see a player profile of a QB, Cade Atkins, and you can see player notes here on the left side. You can also see, if you tab over, you have a physical tab and you have a skills tab. You can see his player profile, where it kind of tells you his age, his archetype, his height, his weight, and things like that. You can see your team needs on the side. You can also see the top fits of what teams are probably going to be looking into this guy, and you can see key ratings at the bottom right. They're all question marked right now because it's probably early in the scouting process. You can see he's 30% scouted, so we don't have a lot of things unlocked for him yet, but I like this. I think this is kind of much more in depth than what the current system is, actually having notes on players and physicals and more things to unlock. This definitely seems much more in depth than what the current system is, and I think this is what people have been wanting. You can also see here on the news tab, you're going to be getting surfaced top stories as it pertains to these prospects, and these are things that do affect mock drafts. The national media does have influence over the mock draft big board, so these are going to be important to pay attention to along the way as well. Here you can see another screenshot of a player profile. This time it's on the physicals tab, and again, this just looks much better than the current system. You can see that you can see his acceleration, his agility, his change of direction. You've got a lot of things, speed, strength. You got a lot of those physical things that you would find out at the combine. You can see here you have data available after NFL Combine. You also have data available after college pro days. So pro days are involved in this as well. After those days happen, you're going to find out more, and the percentage for the players should go up. Here you can see the prospects on the mock draft. You could see going up and going down. This is going to happen multiple times throughout the year. I think they said 4 to 5 times throughout the year. You're going to see players moving up and moving down just based on a number of factors like the news or how they're actually performing in college and who other teams are scouting and all of that good stuff. Now here you can see another part of the player profile. This is the skills tab where you get the letter grade for their skills. Now remember, with the old system, you only saw 3 of these. Now you can see a ton more about a player. So for example, with Cade Atkins here, you can see his awareness is an A, his medium accuracy is an A, his short accuracy and his deep accuracy is a B, his throw under pressure is an A. So you would look at this probably along with some of the other things we know about him in terms of the physical and the archetype and all that stuff, and you would say this guy's probably going to be a pretty accurate QB. He might be a good guy to draft. Here's another example with another QB, Kevin Ruiz. You could see that his accuracies are even better. So you would look at these 2 players and you would probably say Kevin Ruiz is the guy that I want to aim for because his accuracies are slightly better than the guy before him. Now here's a look at the physicals tab after the NFL Combine. So on the left, you could see like his rating range, right? For acceleration, he's elite. For his agility, he's great. But then in the middle, you actually see the combine numbers. You see his 40-yard dash time, his bench press reps, his vertical jump, his broad jump, and all of that other good stuff. You can see that he hasn't had the college pro day yet. So once college pro day happens, you would unlock more information there. Here's another example for a cornerback, Bradley Cherry. Again, you can see no pro day yet, but you can see that you have all of his combine stuff, and it just kind of puts everything together in a pretty nicely streamlined player profile where you can go from scouting report where you find out more from your scouts. You can go to physicals where you find out stuff from the combine and pro days, and then you can go to skills where you find out, what his ratings will likely be for certain attributes that are important for that player and the archetype. Now here you can see the overview for Cade Atkins. You can see that you're finding out a lot more about him. It looks like this is before he's drafted because there is still no overall, but you can see that he does have a hidden development trait, so you know that he's at least going to be a star or better. You can see some of the actual individual ratings, so now you know more about him. You know he's got an arm, and you know that he probably has pretty good accuracy because of his letter grades. Then you jump over to Bradley Cherry. You can see for the cornerback, another hidden development trait. You can see that he's got a lot of the physical stuff. He's got good acceleration, he's got good speed, he's got pretty good jumping and things like that, good agility. And then if you look at his letter grade, you kind of can maybe figure out what his coverage would look like. So it's going to give you much more information and help you know how you want to draft these players, where you should draft these players, which ones you want to get, which ones you don't want to get. Whereas the current system, it gives you such little information that you're really just shooting in the dark. Since you made it to the end of the video, I just did a funny video recently where I simulated the entire NFL season in Madden 22. It spit out some really crazy scenarios, so go check that video out, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.